The only issue left here is that a few fields on the order model are not actually required, so let's wrap those fields in if statements so we only render that part of the summary if the user has filled out those fields. We'll need an if statement around street address 2, county, and postcode. With that complete, let's make a purchase and see how the checkout success page looks. Looks like the only issue is I've got my columns a little off, so let's go fix that. This is supposed to be 2/3, so let's change all these to 8 and try again. This looks better, so let's go ahead and commit that. I'm going to add one more finishing touch to this process before we get to using Stripe's webhooks. Under the main container in checkout.html, let's create a loading overlay div. This will have a big giant spinner icon right in the center of the screen and a transparent blue overlay to cover up the page and indicate that the payment is being processed. In checkout.css, I'll add the CSS for this all the way at the bottom. The z-index of 99.99 will make sure it stays on top of everything on the page except for one key thing, which is a pop-up from Stripe we'll see in a moment, which will need to be on top of the overlay for the user to complete their payment. Now let's save that and head to the Elements JavaScript to trigger the overlay and fade out the form when the user clicks the Submit button, and reverse that if there's any error. With that saved, I'll go to the site and create one more order so we can see how the whole process looks. Note that in this order, I'm going to use a different test card number which will trigger some extra authentication from Stripe so we can make sure the pop-up can remain above the loading overlay. Well, the Stripe pop-up worked, but I don't see our loading overlay, so I'm going to try a hard refresh to make sure we aren't using cached CSS and JavaScript, and then try this again. Now we see the loading overlay working nicely, and this elegant looking pop-up from Stripe asking us for further authentication. Clicking Cancel or Fail Authentication will result in our form being re-enabled, the error nicely displayed, and the form data still intact. Now I'll go through with the authentication and confirm the whole process works. As expected, we land on the Checkout Success page with a nice order summary and a link to check out the latest deals. I'll go back and commit this now, and then we'll get started with Stripe webhooks.